Hello, Sam here. Welcome back to Cinema Swirl. Apologies it's been so long, and thank you so much for joining us again. This episode of Cinema Swirl was recorded a little bit differently to all the previous episodes of Cinema Swirl, and as such there are some very minor audio hiccups in the first part of the episode. It's not as bad as some of the audio hiccups we've had in previous episodes, it's pretty listenable, and by the time we get into reviewing the actual movie, we'd figured out how to resolve that issue. Anyway, without further ado, here's, Cinema Swirl.
Hello everyone, it's Cinema Swirl! Are we season 4 now, technically?
Yeah, back after
hiatus.
We got cancelled, we got brought back by, I think we've already done that bit.
What, we're getting cancelled?
Yahoo Screen brought us back.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it, when you take so many hiatuses, you run out of jokes for taking hiatuses. What I was going to go with is that HBO commissioned another season of Cinema Swirl, but wanted to put a 2-hour break in between them. But we were fighting them, we were in there, we were fighting them tooth and nail. How have you been, Sam? It's been many hundreds of thousands of years since I've seen you last.
It's been a long time. It's very nice to be back in the saddle. I've been good.
You're back in the saddle, yeah?
Back in the same room.
Yeah, you're ready to ride this thing, this horse, this podcast horse?
Yeah, I think so. I want to see where it takes me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what have you been up to in the last few months since we've done this last? Do you still work in a cinema and don't drink Pepsi?
Nah, mate. Well, you nearly got me there. That was nearly some gotcha journalism, because I answered no to that question. Still off the Pepsi, guys. Still off the Pepsi. But I've stopped working at a cinema, so I think I'm now able to discuss how awful that was.
So you're further distancing your branding, basically, from...
Yeah, so cinema's gone. Fizzy drinks, gone, mate. I'm a new man.
What am I to do? I'm going to come back here next week. It's just going to be
What's left?
Called Sam anymore. It's some other dude, in your place.
Just call me S-Dog, all right? And then we can move on.
So, S-Dog, what was it that led you to leaving the cinema? I mean, as a young boy, I always thought working in a cinema would be the greatest joy of all joys. Eating popcorn for breakfast, ice cream for lunch, nacho cheese for dinner, with a hearty helping of films.
Yeah, I mean, the hearty helping of films, that was there. I could watch some films.
Got to see Suicide Squad.
all the classics.
Batman v Superman.
Mate, got a little Funko Pop Joker keyring. That's supposed to be for customers, but S-Dog took it.
Whoa, S-Dog, you lit that place up, man. Oh my god. So I'm assuming you left the cinema because you fucking burnt that shit to the ground.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, I'm not saying you're an arsonist,
No, because I don't want that getting out there. Cause
have I ever told you that my dad casually, alludes to him being an arsonist now and then?
No, that's a fun little quirk for a sitcom character.
It is, isn't it? Well, my dad is basically a sitcom character, I've come to realise, but another wrinkle to the story of Big Daddy Mahan, who is smaller than me considerably, by around 2 feet, actually. He casually mentions that there was a fire at a stadium near his home when he was a kid. And it's gone to the point now where I don't know where the joke ends and the reality begins. I can't bring myself to search through newspaper archives to see if there actually was a stadium fire in Salt Hill in Galway.
Oh, okay.
But if there was, it almost definitely was my dad.
Right.
And even if it wasn't my dad, he's almost definitely taken the fall for someone.
Yeah.
He's implicating himself, he's had multiple opportunities.
So you're not looking it up, so that it's you're not opening the box yet. It's like Schrodinger's arsonist father.
Yes.
If you open it up, then maybe he is an arsonist. Whereas if
you're right, Sam. Is exactly like Schrodinger's arsonist father. That classic phrase that we all definitely use. I just don't know if I can live with myself if my dad was a twisted fire starter. I mean, I don't know if I want that on my conscience. I've been living off the fat of the land, living high and large. I don't need no fucking shit like that. Sam, calm down.
Okay.
Breathe with me, okay? Breathe with me. Why do we ever stop doing this shit? This is easy. We should...
So the other day, you know how I'm still after Pepsi Max, right?
Yeah.
Living that caffeine-free lifestyle.
Wait, yeah, the way you said that there leads you to believe that you're a fucking glugging caffeine-free Pepsi Max, like...
No. I haven't abandoned fizzy drinks as a whole. I've abandoned caffeinated fizzy drinks, so...
Oh, I see. You've changed your tune.
But I haven't had any cola at all since early 2016 now.
Fanta is, like, worse for you than Coke, though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's got way more sugar.
It's worse, but I'm just a stickler for my own self-imposed rules.
Yeah, I don't want you to be, like, drinking, like, you know, fucking Sprite and then a bottle of Fanta and thinking you're getting 3 of your 5 a day because you got lemon, lime and orange up in there.
Not for the health benefit, mate. I'm just ditching my branding, all right?
Okay.
The other day, I walked through the city centre of Nottingham, and there was literally a giant fucking can of Pepsi Max in the street. Like a huge, like 8 foot tall can of Pepsi Max with like steam coming out of it.
Wow.
To symbolise like popping it open. And there were like attractive people, young people, wearing Pepsi Max clothes with bins of Pepsi Max in front of them, giving away Pepsi Max. And someone was like, Pepsi Max. And I had some Pepsi Max. I didn't drink it, but I just took it and I just had it in my hand for ages.
That is just like the episode of Simpsons where Homer tries to give up beer and it's like surrender to Duff and they drop them all from the sky on top of him.
I thought it was genuinely cruel.
Cruel marketing from Pepsi. See, Pepsi, you could have sponsored a nice podcast with 2 nice boys, and instead you're doing this wicked fucking in your face lapsing, making people lapse. I know what your game is.
It was one of those yucky spin-off Pepsis though. It was like ginger or something.
Ooh.
Or cinnamon. I can't remember. It's just some beige flavour that they had on the
We do have
can.
people still keeping in touch. People do send us messages.
Funny Pepsi flavours.
Mostly new Pepsi products that are out and about.
You're welcome to try them, mate.
Well, I'm not. I feel this is unfair because there's 2 of us here. One of us loves Pepsi Max. One of us does not like it at all. Like, that's me. And that's not a life choice I've made. That is just a fact. You've made a life choice. You're the one who's distanced us from that brand. That's on you. That ain't on me, like.
I don't want to impose my caffeine-free lifestyle upon you.
Hey, look,
sorry,
in the privacy of your own home, fine, whatever. But when you're out pounding the pavement, you drink fucking caffeinated beverages like the rest of us, yeah? Wait, does that mean you don't drink tea and coffee?
No, haven't had those since 2016 either.
See, that's really funny because the last time you were around recording, and you're bigging up the healthy lifestyle of not having anything caffeinated, but it literally you were just really tired, like, all the time.
Still am.
You still are?
Yeah.
Like, if you were in The Sims, there would be an icon above you saying, just give me some fucking caffeine, like. Have you tried sleeping more?
No, I sleep better.
Oh, you sleep better? That's okay.
Sleep better. I sleep like, I mean, this might be me getting a full-time job, but I sleep at like a regular time and I wake up early and I can survive the working day, but like once I'm done, I'm like shattered. So I always feel tired. It hasn't got any better, really.
That's good, you know. Yeah. I mean, because my fear would be that you would be feeling tired and then you'd stop feeling tired for a bit and then go back to feeling tired, and that would be really upsetting. But at least it's been consistent.
Consistently just feeling bad.
Speaking of consistency, why don't we dip into that old mailbag of ours?
Okay.
Dust off the jingle. Oh man, I think I just inhaled some spider eggs.
No,
Got a couple of emails here to cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
I'm going to read out basically around 30 to 40 of the messages that we get, which is, when is there going to be more Cinema Swirl?
Yeah.
Right here, right now. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
This
is it.
This is it right now.
Now, mate, to answer your question, now.
I'm going to say, I do like that we've been getting so many lovely tweets.
It's genuinely very encouraging and lovely and sweet.
People, when they tweet us, are much nicer about Cinema Swirl than when they meet us in person. I don't know about you, but for me, I've met a few people and they're like, they didn't even say hi, Kevin, or hello. They literally just go, when's Cinema Swirl back?
Fair question, mate.
Now, like, I just wish people could understand the reason why Cinema Swirl was on hiatus was that I had grown to resent Cinema Swirl massively. You particularly. It just... Yeah.
Hate
you know?
it.
One true prick more like, am I right? So I decided to forbid there ever being any more Cinema Swirl ever. If I had my way, I would have deleted all the episodes that were already up there.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the password is anymore, so, you know. Much like Creed, I'm on the outside, I'm looking in. But also like Creed, Sam, I can see through you. Because inside you're ugly. Ugly like me.
Is that Creed, or is that Stained?
That's Stained, isn't
Stained, the bald lad.
Well, no, that was Fred Durst when he sang with Stained. Long story short, we're back. If you want the truly, like, I'm pissed off about the things that have happened in the past, that's behind a paywall on the Attitude Era Podcast Patreon page. But long story short, I've elected we can tell the story.
Okay.
Around the time of our last episode, Sam and I were approached by a company.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the term company loosely. An organisation, maybe we could say. What does this organisation want with little old Cinema Swirl, Sam?
You want me to answer the question?
Please.
I
want to share the incriminating
They
phrases.
wanted us to sort of churn like milk in a. No, I'm just razzing you. They wanted us to revolutionise radio and audio content forever.
Easy. What's for fucking lunch? I did that for breakfast.
These are your guys. We can do this.
Well, we're meant to be doing bite-sized chunks of, like, they said they'd listen to Cinema Swirl, and I will say that I didn't contact them, you didn't contact them. These are people who were like, whoa, you guys, we want you to come aboard our choo-choo train of new media.
All the way to success.
All the way to success. We were excited because, I mean, we've often wanted with Cinema Swirl there to be kind of, I don't know, like a next level type moment, and it felt like that was it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we made the mistake of asking before we signed our contracts if we could just check out one or two little things.
Yeah.
I think there was a query over whether or not we would actually own any of Cinema Swirl if we did it.
Yeah, any of our content or likeness or voice.
And seeing as I really wanted to destroy Cinema Swirl from within and inject it with a lethal dose of poison, giving up ownership really kind of takes away my ability to kill my own creation. So we just wanted to check. And in the process of checking, we had a guy come back to us saying, yeah, guys, we don't think you're a good fit for our brand. And they made out like we had come to them to ask to be on their new media thing.
No.
I'm not bitter. Honestly, I'm full-time podcasting.
Well,
I refuse to be bitter about it.
Tell you what, Kevin, I'm not full-time podcasting. I am very bitter about it. I'm deeply upset. And they were like, you can do it for free. You can just do it for the fun of it. I don't want to have any fucking fun. I want sweet cash dollar in my pocket.
It was going to be a lot of work, like. I mean, it was going to be every day we'd be podcasting. Like, that's a fucking big commitment. But
Topical
we were up
stuff.
for it.
We can't put that in the bank and just release it in, pieces. This was everyday relevant movie news they wanted.
But thankfully, they don't want anything to do with us now.
Yeah.
So there you go. I was really annoyed because I really wanted a chance to fuck it all up for us. And I feel like we didn't, Like, this is the one time where I've had an opportunity, which normally I feel I would have fucked up massively. And I didn't even, we did a sensible thing. We were like, hang on, let's just check this contract and read it first. And then that's how we fucked it up?
Yeah, we fucked up before we even had the chance.
I don't know.
That's impressive. So from that day, we both became traumatized by the very idea of Cinema Swirl.
I mean, I will definitely say it let the wind out of my sails considerably.
Yeah.
And I think a combination of me starting up various other projects and doing other things and there being not so nice memories attached to it, I will say I'm very sorry if I lapsed in Cinema Swirl. It has always had and always will have a very special place in my heart, and I love podcasting with you, Sam, more than anything in the world and showing you these movies. But it was no, hang on, I'm going to get into a horrible bit now.
Okay. But you're a fucking prick, mate.
You're fucking phony, mate. You're a fucking phony. I told you, don't read the fucking contract. You're a fucking phony. Oh, fucking apologise. A fucking phony. But, it's just, unfortunately, for the last few months, the thought of the podcast brought up feelings of malaise and distress.
Yeah, I was just like, it brought up sick for me. I was just throwing up kind of some yellow buttery goo out of my mouth every time I thought of it.
Is that because you were just eating lots of popcorn?
Yeah, but they don't offer buttered popcorn, but that didn't stop me. I just bring in my own Lurpak and just dump it on top and just wait for
That's a quality butter right there, Lurpak, a real quality one.
Yeah, I'm not messing around.
So, I mean, that's not... I realise we've played the jingle. We've done the... Like, I don't know if there's a special jingle for talking about a failed outside project.
I can certainly remix the back jingle.
Yeah, okay. Can you play an evil jingle? Because I love the mailbag jingle, and that this was quite a distressing thing we've talked about. So let's put that to one side. We're going to go into the actual nice questions now. Because the reason we talked about that is because everyone wanted to know, and I figured there's no point in
where have you been?
That's where we've been,
and that's nice that people are asking.
It is. It's very nice, and we're back now, so you can fucking stop already. Jesus, right now, here, look at your fucking app. This is Cinema Swirl.
Yeah.
We got email here from Brian Yob. Brian Yop. Ooh,
oh, okay.
Yop. Do you have Yop here?
Me mama, Yop, me mama. Is it Yop? Was that Yop? Am I saying Yop?
Yop, Y-O-P.
The advert.
Do you have Yop here?
The milk drink.
Yeah, the yogurty ooze.
So give me Yop. Me mama.
I don't know the potentially racist jingle that you're singing.
Yop.
I just know Yop was...
It's the real thing.
When I was growing up, if you were Catholic, you had Yop, and if you're Protestant, you had Frege with a J. Brian Yop, your name has made me think of raspberry liquid, so I thank you very much. He's written an email to cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
Hello, I wanted to share a note that might be appropriate for both shows, How To Wrestling and Cinema Swirl. Wrestling. Also, to continue to the Cinema Swirl bit, I did bring an entire chicken dinner with me. With chicken tenders, fries, coleslaw, a drink, and a bag of M&Ms as a snack. I thought this acceptable since we were strapping in for a 4-hour wrestling show as opposed to a 2-hour film. The movie theatre attendant agreed with my sound logic and allowed my outside meal. Mate, that fucking attendant is out in his arse now. He ain't working there no more, right?
Wait, hold on. He's saying movie theatre attendant.
Oh yeah, they showed a WrestleMania show at one of the cinemas, I think is what he's saying.
Oh, that's cool.
They want to...
I'd go and fucking see that.
Blast zones. They don't do them anymore.
Alright, well I mean like, yeah, if it's what is basically an endurance event, which is what WrestleMania
4 hours is you'll need to have a full roast chicken, like.
Bring a picnic, a blanket, just hang out. Make yourself at fucking home in the cinema.
Yeah, easy peasy.
If you're watching a film, don't do that. Please.
Another email here to cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
Cinema anecdote. Hi, Kevin and Sam. Initialize cinema anecdote. The Odeon Cinema in Hereford allows you to buy plastic glasses of red wine to take in with you. I already love this message. This is my favourite one. It's got wine in it, in inappropriate glasses. Once drank a bottle of red wine out of a world's best dad mug. Fantastic experience. Well, me and my brother went to watch Get Out recently, and literally, as the movie was starting, a woman came into the cinema with 2 of these glasses in each hand for a total of 4 wines. Worst possible timing to enter a screening. Why do people do that? There's 20 minutes of trailers and adverts for people to come in, and she chooses the very start of the movie to arrive anyway. The whole room was pitch black, and we could see the shadowy presence of the lady slowly head up the stairs to find her seat. She was walking very slowly and teetering left and right with each step, and I knew she was either lost or pissed. Mate, if she was pissed, you'd have to drink those 4 wines first, though, surely, right? I mean, just saying.
At least one handful.
Yeah, alright? You gotta get rid of some arm space there. Well, turns out she was indeed drunk. She flung both glasses up into the air and fell backwards down the steps. Oh my god, this is taking a very dark turn. The wine covered 3 teenagers to her left, who all shrieked. As she continued to roll down the steps, she veered to her right and landed on the legs of an old chap who was wearing those audio description headphones for the performance. Oh god.
Oh,
he yelled,
Jesus.
This is getting really bleak. This is why we fucking stopped doing it. The quality messages became too dark, and that's when we stopped. He yelled in shock, shock also, all this was happening as the movie was beginning and the entire audience was completely groaning and distracted. The old chap stood up and picked up his guiding stick. He was either blind or had a visual impairment of some sort. He took off his headphones and started calling out for help. Utter chaos. Some poor young girl from the Odeon had to crawl into the cinema on all floors with some kitchen towel for the spilled wine, as not to distract the showing any further. In a hushed voice, she had to talk the drunken girl out of the cinema, as well as assuring the blind man as to what was going on. What a pro. She was a real diamond.
Yeah, I mean, that's my favourite bit of the email, that she was a real diamond. Like, that, you need more than minimum wage for that kind of
you can't be getting no minimum wage and shining bright like a diamond, like. Anywho, there's just a yarn I had from my most recent cinema experience. I love your podcast and have started re-listening to older episodes as I eagerly await your next arrival.
Now.
Best wishes, Joe Lewis from Hereford. Come Hereford to me. Well, that was, I mean, I know we've been exploring this theme for a while of food in the cinema. But that's more like social incident at the cinema.
Yeah, that's kind of like incident endemic of a larger problem at the cinema kind of thing, you know.
I'll be honest, I scanned the email and I was just like, did she piss herself? No, alright, I'll read it out. So, because I thought that was the line at which it would be inappropriate to read out the email. As it stands, you get drunk during the performance. During the performance. Not before. Sam, we got a very special film to watch today.
Yeah, I've heard that we have.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I decided on this movie after hitting up IMDb's top 50 movies under 90 minutes. I wanted to ease ourselves back into this, you know,
Yeah.
on the off chance this whole thing doesn't work and Sam has forgotten how to swirl, or I've forgotten how to swirl. So far, so good. We're watching a movie from Rob Reiner called Stand By Me. Now, this is a movie which I watched when I was a young lad. A very important movie. You didn't even know what the fuck it was, if I recall correctly when I mentioned it.
I don't know who Rob Reiner is.
What? Rob Reiner?
Rob Reiner.
He's the anti-smoking activist.
I know Rob Schneider. All right, I know he's more of a...
No.
You know Rob Schneider?
I do know who Rob Schneider is. They're
okay.
saying no to fucking dismiss that awful fucking analogy. Rob Reiner made Spinal Tap.
Okay.
Do you know Spinal Tap?
Not seen it, but I know it.
You've not seen Spinal? What the fuck are we doing this for? Anyway, so Rob Reiner is a very famous director. He also formed Castle Rock Entertainment, the production company which made Seinfeld. It's a show famous for Jerry having a new bit.
Yeah.
That happens across the 19 seasons of Seinfeld.
What's the deal with Rob Reiner? That's what I'm asking.
The deal with Rob Reiner is he's America's sweetheart. He's a very well-renowned director, and we're watching this movie, Stand By Me, which is adapted from a Stephen King novel.
Oh, okay.
Called The Body, which is an autobiographical tale from Stephen King's childhood. This isn't the first Stephen King book to movie we've done, is it?
We've done...
We did The Shining, of course.
The Shining is Stephen
That
King.
is Stephen King. We've not done It yet, have we?
We've not done it yet, no. We haven't. We're about to do it now, mate.
You haven't seen it, have you?
No, I haven't seen Stand By Me. No, I haven't seen it.
Who's on first? Like, have you seen It? IT? That doesn't work.
I've seen the IT Crowd.
Oh Jesus,
that's a great sitcom.
Have you seen It? The Stephen King clown.
The scary clown film? No, I haven't.
I think that's got to be a spooky swirl this year. So you don't know anything about Stand By Me at all?
No,
you've never even heard of it.
In order to legally download it, I have seen the cover image.
Okay, you've not seen the synopsis, have you?
I've not seen the synopsis. I know the title, and I've seen the cover, and there's some boys.
Do you know there are boys? This is a boy-centric film. I will tell you after that.
Okay.
Do you know the song "Stand By Me"? Stand by me.
Yes.
So do you know the song?
Stand by the goal, mate, to not let any balls in.
Stand in the formation.
Yeah.
4-4-2. I remember that from my sensible soccer days.
Nice.
And you know what my favourite thing is when we get tweets from people who've not yet realised that we don't actually watch football. They're 3 episodes in, oh, this is great. Movies, footy chants, banter. What?
These are my lads, yeah.
These are not the lads you're looking for. So, you don't know the song, it would seem.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good rendition. I recognise the song, but...
Okay.
Is it based on the song?
It's not based on the song, no.
Is
but
the song in it?
Obviously, yes, the song features in it.
Okay.
It's got a fucking cracking soundtrack. This it's a story of growing up. It's a story of going from boys to men. Not
right. And they're on the soundtrack.
Yeah, they're on the soundtrack. You know, where they do an amazing harmonic rap version of "Stand By Me." It's unbelievable. But there are also some other boys in the movie as well. This movie was viewed for a long time as being the quintessential growing up movie.
Right.
I've not seen this since I was a very young lad.
Okay.
I wonder if it will be evocative of the journey from a boy to a disgusting grown-up man. I mean, would you say that when you're a boy that you have to go on some sort of a journey? Do you feel you went on a journey of self-discovery to hatch out of a cocoon as a man butterfly?
Yeah, went on like a journey to school to learn about stuff.
How'd that work out for you?
Terrible.
Really?
Real bad. No, it's alright, mate. I'm big clever, mate. I can't think of any. See, in the pictures, in the movies, there's always like a coming of age moment,
yes,
or experience.
This movie is basically it's meant to symbolise the coming of age moments for basically all baby boomers. It's set in the late 50s.
Right.
So this movie, when it came out in the late 80s, it basically spoke to everyone who is our age now, then. Now they're all old as fuck, so it doesn't matter, where are the nuclear bombs? Fuck off, yeah? So, coming of age moments. Have you felt you've ever had a coming of age moment?
No, I've just aged. I've just, become older. I don't think there was a moment where I was like, I'm a bloody man now.
See, a coming of age gradient is so much less satisfying than a coming of age moment.
Yeah, but I don't think I've had a moment where I'm like, no, my childhood's gone. I'm now a grown-up.
So you never had kind of a moment with pals as a young boy where it's like, oh, after this experience, after this adventure, I'm a man now. I'm a whole different person.
No.
When I was 6 or 7 at a friend's birthday party, they went on an adventure to around the old forest. The forest where they found a cache of weapons for the IRA when I was a kid.
Sorry, what?
Oh, stop making it a fucking thing. The IRA are coming to get me. Where's that cache of weapons?
You can't bait me into asking about it and then be like, oh, you bloody Protestant.
No, if it just so happens that my anecdote of childhood tales fucking baits your inherent anti-Irish sentiment, then fine, So we went there into the forest.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of a creek there, and there's a rotten log that was across the creek. And all the boys were like, come on, let's run across this log. And I said, I think that's very unsafe.
Yeah.
That log is rotten. And they went, oh, come on, let's do it. And they did it. And they went, oh, you're going to come across it, you chicken. And I went and I told on them. And then the parents came and they gave out to them. They said, you shouldn't have went over that log.
And good on Kevin for telling us. He did the right thing here.
It wasn't even my birthday. It was fucking great. Give me the bell of the ball of a birthday that's not even yours. And they're like, oh, God. 7 years and Colin can't just get it together. Not like Kevin, reliable log spoiling Kevin. So I don't think that was a coming of age moment for me, but I do believe I prevented.
You ruined a coming of age moment for other boys, yeah.
And now they're all they're trapped basically. They're all boys stretched out I've never had my coming of age moment. What is this horrible Arrested Development? And I'm grand now because I curried favour with authority, which is what I would suggest anyone to do who's listening to this podcast. So you can't think of any coming of age moments for you?
No, not really. I mean, there's things like that. We've all jumped across a body of water.
Hey!
And felt very scared that you were going to fall in the water. And then you didn't fall in the water. It was all right. Managed to jump across. But I'm like, boys are weird. There you go. That's my little... done.
I have this weird feeling about this movie because this movie is held in very high regard, and I'm one of those people who holds it in high regard. I have a feeling that it's going to have aged terribly.
I know nothing about it, Kevin. Zilch.
Because this is this trend I've noticed with movies when it's movies that are set up to be some sort of social ideal and set in the past, and it's oh God, remember in the 60s when we all did this, or remember in the 50s when we all did this. And I think you and I are going to watch this movie and come away going, yo, where's the avocado toast at, old man? You know? I have a feeling that we're just too fucking swinging for this dusty old movie.
Why didn't these kids just check in? Like, why didn't they... on Foursquare?
Yeah, I mean, like, these days, kids don't even have coming-of-age moments. They've got coming-of-age apps, and they just they download the moments, you know? Coming-of-age moments, not Facebook moments. Think about it, yeah? Just throw it out there, like, you know?
Deep.
Well,
I think social media is actually making us not quite as social as we were before.
You know, Sam, it's funny you should mention that, because the other day, I went into town, was it? Yeah, it was. I went into town, and I was in the shop, and people all around, such a bevy of activity, and I noticed all the youngsters were all looking down at their phones.
Fuck's sake, mate.
And I just thought to myself, well, they've all charged those this morning, haven't they? I typically struggle with that. That is the generation gap right there. I frequently forget to charge my phone. How do they do it? The young. How do they do it? Unbelievable. All these plugs. Where do they come from? Amazing. Immaculate. Right, let's go watch this coming-of-age story. Let's take a bit of a trip back to 1959 and go do a cinema swirl. Welcome back, everyone. That was Stand By Me, Rob Reiner's coming-of-age classic, a quartet of boys. We're fucking up to our oxters and boys here. Jesus Christ. You got boys coming out me backside. Sam, initial gut reaction.
That was really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like that.
Was it heartwarming?
Yeah, my heart is warmed.
Could you give me a brief rundown of the emotions that you felt during the movie?
There was a bit of like, oh, fuck these fucking kids. Then a bit of, oh, these kids are alright. Then a bit of, oh, this is quite sad. And then a bit of like, oh, this is great. And then a bit of, oh, this is sad. And then, oh, this is alright. This is good.
So it's kind of like a roller coaster, but maybe not a very exciting roller coaster?
Yeah, just like your run-of-the-mill coaster.
A straight-up Roloco, like nothing really, too fancy.
No upside down bits, is what I'm saying.
Speaking of upside down, I was wondering if this is a movie which is kind of like one of those load-bearing movies where like a whole corner of pop culture is precariously perched on the foundations laid by this movie.
Are you thinking?
But yeah, I was wondering. Stranger Things. Or as it's known here in the UK,
yeah.
Wait, is that what I think?
I realised.
Oh no, that's a Hotline Miami song I'm singing.
As soon as I started singing the theme, I was like, I have no idea what the theme to Stranger Things sounds like.
Stranger Things, among Stranger Things, upside down, inside out, Stranger Things. I was wondering if you saw anything in this movie which you've seen elsewhere in other
boys
media.
On bikes. See them all the time, mate.
They really set a trend, this movie, with the boys on bikes whole
Stranger Things really does that boys on bikes thing. I think that's like that was promoted as like a 80s, at least partly Stephen King-esque show.
Yeah, it's actually funny, the kids, when they auditioned them for Stranger Things, they actually got them to read scenes from this movie.
Oh, okay.
From the novel it's based off of.
So literally just like copying
fairly unabashed. Yeah. I mean, I think Simpsons is definitely one, but you can think there's so many shows that have flashback to when we were kids and we found a dead body or went on an adventure together. Yeah. Like, were you a Pokemon boy, weren't you?
Yeah. Still am.
Did you catch them all when you were a kid?
I caught most of them, mate. Most of them.
Oh.
Catch them most.
Catch them all except for Tauros, because the Safari Zone is hard. I was wondering if this is top Poke buff question here now.
Okay, I probably
I don't know if you're a Buffamon or not, but we'll see. Do you know the Stand By Me reference that is in the original Pokemon Red and Blue?
No.
You're very sure you don't do a whirl or anything like that.
I was thinking maybe I can improv something, try and come up with a funny answer. No, mate. Cut straight to the chase. What is it? Mate, tell me. Give it.
Pokemon is serious business.
Yeah.
Like,
give me that sweet ref.
The acquisition of Pokemon and nothing else. No, in Palatine, if you go and look at any of the TVs, it'll say, "Oh, there's an old movie being played on TV. 4 boys are walking across train tracks." Only in the American and UK and Europe versions, but yeah, Stand By Me reference there. Nice font at the start of this, huh?
Yeah,
it's good. I like when movies have the same consistency as like an above average student presentation. It's very good. So we meet our narrator, would be Stephen King, Gordo. Yeah, played by someone we've seen before on the podcast.
Is he? I should know. I wasn't really not paying attention, but like he looks at a newspaper. It says someone's been stabbed.
Attorney stabbed. Yeah.
And now. So I was thinking about that. I thought he looked a bit like Kevin Costner, and then I was like, wait a minute, he doesn't look like Kevin Costner. And
then I was like, wait a minute, I don't even know who that is.
I've not seen any Kevin Costner films. Who is he? Give.
Richard Dreyfuss from Jaws fame, if you recall.
Dreyfuss.
Yeah, Dreyfuss.
We famously got Dreyfuss and the other guy mixed up, didn't we? So I'm even more at a loss as to who Dreyfuss is.
Yeah, and famously, I don't really care about not knowing actors, like, the fucking white guys, the white men, that was them, those actors.
Yeah, so one of those from one of the films that we watched.
You know what I hate as well? People are like, oh, do you not remember who directed this or wrote this? Mate, they're even on the camera, ain't no pictures of them. Come on now. Unfair. So, it starts off innocently enough with our font and our stabbed headline, but things take a little bit of a dark turn where he goes, I was 12 years old when I first saw a dead body.
Yeah, whoa, Struth, I'm hooked, I'm in. I want to watch this movie, I want to see some dead people.
How old were you when you first saw a dead body?
11, mate. Big boy shit. And cutting in just under old Stevie King.
If you're wondering what the noise in the background is, it's me trying to figure out what's a top banter way of chatting about the first time you saw a dead body.
Yeah.
Mate, when's the first time you saw a dead body? What was it like? Whey!
Wallop. Proper bants, mate. There's a bit here where the narrator man says it was only...
I was going to actually ask, no, seriously. Any details there? Got any funny stories about seeing a dead body?
No. No. Well, hey, there was that time... Hey, now. Hey. Hey, wait a minute. There was a time...
Oh, Sammy's got a dead body story. Hold on.
I'm getting a bit old now, so I can't remember if I've told this story before, but I briefly worked at a funeral parlour.
Oh, yes, you have told the story. Yeah.
Have I told it on the podcast?
Yes, you have.
Okay. Just like, do you want to see where the dead bodies are? No, not really. Because I'm a pussy, mate.
I'm
a fucking pussy.
First dead body I saw was my granny, but she had been given the full works. Like, obviously, my parents didn't skimp on any of the extras. Fucking granny looked like a Hollywood actress.
when you asked her, like, when was the first time you saw a dead body? I was like, oh, Kevin won't want me to actually talk about that.
Yeah, because Kevin doesn't want you to upstage his awesome story about, like, his dead granny.
Glamorous dead gran.
And I was like, who's this? Like, honestly, I walked
She looks better than she ever did.
Oh, if this is what it's like when you're dead, maybe you should, I don't know, fucking kill me or something over here. See what I'm saying? So we flash back to a small town in Oregon, 1959.
Which was a long time ago, if you measure it in terms of years. I'm like, mate, everyone fucking does, yeah? Don't be all fancy writing.
Metric system over here in Europe. We don't measure in years, we measure in time scales, Yeah. 100 days to a time scale, 100 hours in a day. I must say, I wonder if, like, the world was actually ever like this.
Well,
it's a very idealised 1959 small town, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, look at that tree house. Fucking hell.
That's cool. I mean...
Did you have a tree house as a kid?
No, but I always wanted a tree house. I think everyone wanted a tree house, and I don't think I knew anyone who had a tree house.
I didn't have a tree house, because we didn't have any, like... We only had, like, hedges. We didn't have, like, proper trees.
And you can't get a hedge house, can you, mate?
No, you can. It's more of a, den, really, than a tree house. But the family who I used to go to after school to be looked after when my parents were off working until all hours, they had a tree house.
The fuck?
Anytime I tell them, they're like, a treehouse, you must have the best childhood ever.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
it's
insane.
It's really unglamorous. Like, you know the podcasting table here in my house?
Yeah.
Literally that size.
Right.
So, like, it was less of kind of a, hey, let's all go hang out in the treehouse and come up with some fun plans to be as kids. It was more like, let's go simulate what it's like if three of us were in a slightly too big coffin.
Yeah.
In a tree. Like a coffin that's not been properly delivered. Like, it's up a tree, it's full of children, what's going on?
The more I think about it, a treehouse is just an elevated shed, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And, like, there were a number of times, like, when I was a kid, we would be like, oh, let's go to the treehouse. Yeah, ow! Yeah, let's go to the treehouse. Woo! And we'd all go up to the treehouse, go, all right, we're here now.
Too cramped.
And we'll leave the treehouse.
Yeah, it feels like a very American thing, treehouses.
I guess, because like, no one I know in this country I've ever spoken to has ever like even known someone with
Well,
a
we don't
treehouse.
have trees in England, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Or houses.
Don't believe in trees or the Virgin Mary over here in the United Kingdom. It's a very sad state of affairs. Old kids, kids from back in the days, playing cards, smoking cigarettes,
being
having a go
racist.
at other racists, Tell you, man, kids those days, it's ridiculous what it's come to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back in these days, things are a lot different, you know? The good new days, as I like to refer to them, But then bad old days. Those days. So we're introduced to all of our children, and all of them have got a story to tell.
They have.
Teddy's dad, for instance, is apparently a monster who tried to kill him when he was younger.
Yeah, that's not good. Burnt his ear.
Oh, man.
Who does that?
His dad, apparently.
Not your dad. Shouldn't be doing that. Rivers Cuomo's got a story about being the lead singer of Weezer. He's there just having a great old time.
Did you have a little practice of that? Like, have a look up. Oh, he's got a silly name.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I'm here to spoil your fun. He died tragically young. So there you go.
Did he? Who was he?
River Phoenix.
That's not River Phoenix.
It is.
No, the other one's River Phoenix.
Oh, right. I thought you were doing a joke about how his name is River. And
Oh, no. Right. The one who's called River doesn't look like Rivers Cuomo. The one who's got the glasses looks like Rivers Cuomo.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's how everyone kind of, like, the more you say the lead singer of Weezer's surname, the less people give a shit about how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Rivers Cuomo is very good. Band.
Yeah, River Clone Bro was there just wearing his glasses, having a great old time.
I mean, Rivers Koala is one of my favourite all-time singers. He's fantastic. But yeah, no, the other boy, Chris, River Phoenix, died tragically young.
Died very young.
Oh, damn it, I missed a sick burn on you there. I kind of took you down for no reason. So.
No, it's Speedball, mate.
He's brother of Jahakin Phoenix.
Yeah.
If you know him. Oh, Jahakin, sure, I know him well. He did the driveway last weekend, sure. Oh, he's a good man, is El Jahakin. His parents were hippies, that's why they've got such peculiar names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, grew up in a VW van.
Nice.
I mean, we might as well say it right now, because we're introduced to all these kids. We got Vern, for instance, who's a dumbass. Doesn't even know the knock to the house. And of course we got Gordo, or main boy here. These four children are probably the greatest four child actors you've ever seen. Like, I don't know, on this podcast anyway.
It seems like a pretty good bunch of acting kids.
Yeah, like suspiciously good for like 12 years old. Like, there's no way you're a proper actor at that age. Like, you have to have like good direction, I guess.
Did they all go on to be adult actors? I know River Phoenix died, but he was like an adult.
Oh, they all went off to do like various
Will
things.
Wheaton was like a Star Trek dude.
I wouldn't know. I know he's in a lot of Joss Whedon stuff, but I don't know if he's related to him. I don't think he is. Point is, they're really good, these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the times we've had children before in this podcast, how irritating they've been.
These kids they're pretty convincing kids.
They're all right.
Yeah.
So, Vern was telling a story about how he's buried pennies and lost his map to his treasure. And he overheard some car thieves talking about seeing the missing kid that's gone missing. Dead, down by the train tracks. So the boys decide to make a plan and a half. Did you ever kind of concoct schemes as a boy?
Not at all, no. I would be the Kevin Mahan in the situation, ratting everyone out and being like, come on, guys.
Yeah!
This log's rotten. This kid's dead. Come on, parents, go and sort it out for us.
The way you're saying that is like I was some sort of child Gordon Ramsay. Look at this log, it's rotten!
Rotten! There's just dead children in here. Damn. This could have been a great train track.
Instead, it's a grave train track. So, the main boy, Gordo, his brother died. His brother was played by a very, very young John Cusack.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. This is like something, unfortunately, that I know of. Like, I knew people who this had happened to, where the older brother or the oldest sibling had passed away, and family realised they didn't like the other kid as much.
Yeah, really harsh. You'd think in that situation it would be like, oh, we'll really love this other kid now, because he's the only one we got left, rather than just like, oh, fuck this kid. We're left with the little dork loser one.
And his dad's like, I don't like you. Your friends are thieves, and the other one's a thief too.
A thief and two thieves.
That's a grand little merry bunch of men. Sorry, is Vern a thief? What has he stolen besides our hearts?
Oh, he's a lovely boy. When they're making this plan,
yeah,
they seem to all be saying like, oh, our dads are going to beat the shit out of us, but let's do it. Yeah.
Never beaten by my dad. I didn't have it in him, I guess. You know, it's like an accepted fact of life back then. Like, dads beat.
Yeah.
Do you think there'd be many people who are like kind of around our age back in 1959 are kind of like, I want to have kids, but I don't know if I have it in me to beat a child yet. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for the responsibility.
Leave it a few years.
Yeah, I'll wait for you to see how I feel about the concept of beating a tiny human being. Like,
different time, mate. Different time.
Kids those days, parents those days, they didn't have any standards or morals, I guess.
No.
So, Tough Kid Chris has got a fucking piece.
Yeah, River Phoenix has got a gun, and does everyone quite rightly just go Jesus like that, or is that when they shoot the gun?
They're kind of impressed by the gun, but it's only when he's like, "Oh, is it loaded?" And he goes, "No, of course not," and then he shoots it, and it totally is.
Bloody prankster.
Fucking A. So we get to see the villain of the piece, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, Jack Bauer turns up. Boom.
Bad dude.
Boom.
Oh, you're doing 24.
Yeah.
You a fan of 24?
No, but
you know the beeps though.
I know there's a clock in it, mate.
Yeah, you know that because you watched enough Sky back in the day and watched
saw the
adverts. Well, you're like, oh, I'm enjoying. I wonder who played this person on The Simpsons. Hang on a minute, we got to get our beeps in. Beep, beep, beep. So, tough guy Kiefer Sutherland, who's got the greatest gang leader name ever.
Ace.
Oh, Ace, head of the Cobras. Stop it. I'm already impressed.
Yeah.
You've won my attention.
Big boy.
Big boy stealing a small boy's hat.
The Fred Durst hat.
Oh, yeah, shit, that is the Fred Durst hat.
Yeah.
Man.
That's going to make Gordy want to break stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Break something up in his face tonight.
Yeah.
I guess that, like, Ace and the guys, they will never understand those younger kids and their jicky generation, you know? It's the way it is. So the four boys set off on their big adventure, despite the fact that Gordy no longer has his hat. He'll catch a cold. And they walk down the rails.
Singing songs?
Singing songs, walking the rails. There were no trains where I grew up. Nottingham, one of the best connected towns in East Anglia. So I was wondering if you've walked any tram lines or train tracks or anything like that.
Again, no. Too sensible, mate. I'm not going to walk on the train tracks. Plus, there's big old fences by them now, mate. Bloody political correctness gone mad, innit?
Back in your dad's day, though, they'd walk the trains to the train.
Ian was all over the train tracks. Yeah.
You try and stop him. A train approaches, and Teddy wants to dodge it because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he's a madman. I'm sure he says like, "I'm gonna die now." Like in some because it's cool to die.
I think the idea with Teddy is that because his dad is revealed as like a war veteran, but also is like got problems, and even though his dad nearly killed him, Teddy seems to be kind of infatuated with his dad. I don't know. Maybe it's because like his dad is away and he doesn't beat him on the reg. So like unlike the other kids, he's got a much higher opinion of his father. I don't know. Like,
oh, my dad only burns me. He doesn't hit me.
Jesus. So Kiefer and the gang are up to no good.
Yeah.
Ball batting mailboxes.
Bloody hell.
You know, I feel would have gone on very well with the Cobras.
Who?
Biff would have loved these lads.
Biff, very much so. In fact, it does bring to mind the whole Back to the Future time.
It is kind of a gang of Bifflings.
Yeah, a bunch of Biffs. Bunch of bloody Biffers. Biff in those mailboxes. Biff.
They're biffing him with their Biff ball bat.
But they're kind of arguing about like how long they need to play it in order to get the right number of rounds in. And the other boys are like, well, I don't want to hit mailboxes with a bat anymore. Whereas Ace is like, no, we have to hit it the right amount of times.
Yeah, I love the way that he managed to suck a fun out of the antisocial fun that they were having.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's kind of like if you were a kid and you saw all these kids driving by going, ow! oh, and hitting mailboxes, and your parents be like, just ignore them. Their game has probably got arbitrary rules, and none of them actually really want to do it that much.
Yeah. Let's break the rules, but follow the breaking the rules, yeah? Guys, come on.
Mate, there's no point in breaking rules unless you're going to replace them with a set of even more stringent rules. The boys decide they need to get some water, so they break into the junkyard, which has got a scary, fabled dog called Chopper. And apparently, the word on the street is that Chopper has got sick balls. I also heard that he's got tubular balls and gnarly balls.
Yeah, I mean, the whole concept of Chopper sicking on people's balls, the dog's going to throw up everywhere. That's what I was thinking. Like, it's just going to be sick onto your balls.
Oh, I see. I thought the dog was going to rip into their balls and be like, oh,
oh no, these are balls.
That kind of a thing.
Is sicking a term for biting?
Yeah, sick 'em. Get 'em.
I don't know sick 'em.
Sick 'em.
I thought the dog was going to throw up everywhere.
No, sick 'em means like get 'em, sick 'em boys.
Oh yeah, knock 'em, sick 'em robots. Yeah, I remember those.
So in newspeak, in millennial terms, instead of Chopper sick balls, that would be Chopper guess the avocados.
Oh, now I get you.
Yeah,
now I get you.
So, couple of kids. 1959.
Yep.
Got their water. They're gonna all sit around, talk about boobs, size of boobs, and all that sort of stuff. I feel like I missed out on this growing up.
Or just being a bunch of boys talking tit.
I mean, like, they were talking specifically about breasts that they had encountered.
Yeah.
Noticing changes. Going to an all-boys school, it was all hypothetical breasts, really, for us.
Over here in normal school, it's just tit city. Just tit chat all the time.
That's the name of our new podcast that we're doing, our spin-off, Tit Chat, brackets all the time. So look forward to that one on the network at some point. Okay, this thing that I do know, though, is degrading each other's mothers.
The mum banter.
Yeah.
Proper mum bant.
Really going hard. Why is that?
What, just having to go to your mum?
Yeah.
No, that's it. I mean, you must be familiar with the whole your mum.
I can be familiar with it and not understand it.
Right.
Why the mother's got to be brought into it, you know?
But your fucking mum doesn't understand it, mate.
That's her problem, that is,
There's a bit where they're all flipping coins.
Yeah.
And they get 4 tails.
Yeah.
And I think Vern says, that's a goocher.
I'm not...
What's that?
Unfortunately, I would just use an Alexa now to flip a coin. I literally use Alexa to flip coins for me.
Alexa, is that a goocher?
Looks like you got a goocher. Great job. It's only the new update that Alexa can find the correct terminology for 4 tails. I mean, it is a 1 in 2 chance to the times 4. So 1 in 2 to 4, 8. That's like a 1 in 32.
Carol Vorderman over here. Come on.
Hang on. I'm not Carol. I've even got my boards. Don't quote me on that.
All right, Rachel Riley, stop it. We flash back to... I think we flash back, or do we... Yeah.
No, it's a flashback. Within a flashback. That's...
To them
right
at the table, Gordy's family, and John Cusack's there, and they're all chatting, and the mum mentions girls, and the dad is like, don't talk to the boy about girls, talk about football, you'll distract him from the football.
The boy's going to marry a football like his father before him, and his father before him, and then the wife's like, and then she realises she is a football.
Football.
She's football crazy. She's football mad. She's only gone and been married to a football
lad. Football dad. Oh, God. And Gordy's getting snacks, isn't he? Because they all forgot food. Clubbed their cash together. Vern's got 7 cents or something.
I mean, if you were to have one of these boys as your boy, you've got to go with Gordy. Like, that's the boy you want.
Well, Gordy, he's got the great stories. He's got dollars in his pocket. Who wouldn't want to be his friend?
Like, I will see this now and then. Like, I'll see, like, kids do... Like, I used to teach, and you'll see kids around as well doing responsible things. And it's like, wow, that's... I wouldn't mind having that in a kid, you know? Like, the other day on my street, I saw a kid who had 2 litres of milk. Off to the shop on their own. That's fucking brilliant. Yeah. Man.
Well, how do you know he's not just chugging milk as a dare?
We did that in school. We used to do that.
We would chug milk.
Contest. If you could get a couple of trays of milk from the ref when no one was looking on a Friday evening, have a milk drinking contest. and I saw a lot of white slime in my times.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, Jesus.
It comes out the same colour, but the consistency is all gone to whack. It's something happens in the body that changes the very nature of the milk.
Oh.
So, we flash back to the present, and Gordy's only been sicked on by Chopper. He fears for his balls and flees for his life. And it turns out, wouldn't you know it, Chopper's just a tiny furry gentleman.
Bloody myths, mate. What's the deal with myths?
Oh, it's a little cute dog.
Nice little sick dog. Gonna sick on you. You know what? I bet his sick is lovely. Smells like roses. Just nice little cute dog sick.
The junkyard owner comes and has the most threatening phrase ever. I'm gonna beat your ass for teasing my dog. It's fucking serious business right here. You do not fuck with another man's dog. You do not tease him and call him names.
And this is where we learned about Teddy's dad, isn't it?
It's the worst way to find out.
Your dad's a loony, mate. And he keeps saying loony, and Teddy's upset.
It's very, very sad, yeah. And all Teddy can do is make fat jokes and, like, water off a duck's back, mate, you know? It's not going to work there.
A really big duck.
Fucking hell. Adults those days, am I right? Like, who the fuck does that to children? My goodness.
I'm going to tell on all your dads, apart from your mental dad, mate, because he's a loony.
What a fucking asshole. No wonder he lives in a junkyard.
Oh.
No one that cruel deserves a dog that nice looking. That's all I'm saying.
No.
I guess the moral of the story is never tease a dog.
Yeah.
So they mope away, all sad. Vern attempts to start a song. Not the time. Vern is basically like Donnie from The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Vern is out of his element for like 80% of this movie.
Not now, Vern.
The Cobras get cool razor blade tattoos.
Oh, it's so silly. When that scene came on and you just see the arm with the like cobra going on it, I thought, oh, these are the stupid 12-year-old boys. No, the actual grown-up teenage boys scratching the word cobras onto their arms.
I really wish there was a point in this movie where the kids realised that if they didn't like fucking get their shit together and get out of the town, that they would become the Cobras. Yeah. It's really sad. Oh, I do like as well though, Ace with his dating advice. Get yourself a Protestant.
If you want to get laid, mate, Protestants, yeah?
Catholics notoriously never have sex.
Never, mate.
So, yeah.
Never. Protestants all the time.
Protestants, fucking hell. It's just King George and all the other Protestants having a big old sex party, no doubt.
Talking tit 24/7.
If they're not having sex with mothers, they're running them down with crude words. I must say, this point I realised that this movie has got one of the most fucking banging soundtracks ever.
Yeah.
Lollipop.
England,
football.
Better football.
Literally any one of those songs. I mean, I was very jealous of those children. The fact that they managed to have that on the radio and like that's the popular music.
Nowadays it's all bloody Justin Bieber, innit, mate? Bloody Lady Gaga now, but
Lady Gaga and Kaisha and
back in
Beyonce.
them days it was lollipops and stuff, wasn't it? They were great.
How come they don't do songs about sweets no more?
Yeah, Bieber, mate. Talk about refreshers. Come on, mate.
Give us a fucking rap about Chewits already, for fuck's sake. I'm too old now to not be getting that.
Gordy asks Chris, do you think I'm weird? He's like, seriously, do you think I'm weird? I still ask that to my friends in my 20s. Like,
really?
Yeah, I still think I'm a bit of a weirdo and a little freak boy.
I thought like there was like a moment in my life like around the end of my time in school where I was like I didn't take the word weird to be offensive. Like it ceased having any sort of effect on me. And I thought, that's alright, like weird's a cool thing, it's a positive label, I'm taking weird back, it's mine, like, you know, you can't use it against me. And then I had an ex-girlfriend who once just randomly went, Jesus, you're so fucking weird, and oh man, literally split me from one end to the other. I can't co-opt that shit. I know I'm weird, but I still get self-conscious about it. It's just, I think it's too many negative childhood memories. Like, it's a good word.
Good weird word.
Good weird word. Yeah. So yeah, they mentioned that they're starting junior high soon, and it kind of has that like sad moment there where the kids kind of realize we're probably going to end up in different classes because Gordo's going to do college stuff, and you know, Chris assumes he's going to end up doing shop, and that's kind of shitty. Really shitty.
Yeah, for a kid like Chris, who's supposed to be like this... He's a bad boy, right, Chris? Kind of.
It's because he's from this bad family, I think, is the reason why. Because his brother, Eyeball, is in the Cobras, eyeball of the
Eyeball.
cobras. My God.
Yeah, but he is quite conscientious about this. He doesn't want to drag down Gordy. He's like, don't stick with me and do shop. Go and be clever. You've got all your stories that you're going to write, Stephen. I mean, Gordy.
Like the one about the it. You're
Yeah.
going to write that one, aren't you? And they're going to be so long, people are going to buy them and never finish them, but they'll pretend that they did. Did I ever tell you the story about the kid in my school who used to pretend to read Stephen King novels?
Yes, I think you did. Yeah.
Fascinating. Even to this day. I don't care if I've said that before. It's still fucking fascinating and it bears repeating. If you're listening, you should have been fucking ashamed of yourself. Return that book or donate it to someone who'll fucking actually read it. My God. I will say, having experience as a teacher, Chris, those are the best kids in the world. You've got a kid like that. Kid who clearly is really smart, conscientious, sensitive, emotionally intelligent, and yet doesn't do well, so therefore assumes that they're no big deal and have low expectations.
Right.
Those are very easy to... As opposed to if you're a kid who gets labelled like early on, like, oh, you're a genius.
Yeah.
I got told that when I was like, and this is not like a brag, but like I got put into that kind of category of, watch, keep your eyes on him, give him a special medal when he's 12 and make out that he's going to be fucking alright for the rest of his life.
Kevin, I was in the National Academy for Gifted and Talented Youth, and look at me now. It doesn't help you.
Let me have a proper look at you.
Yeah, gifted and talented.
That is such a that label, seriously, it
fucks you up.
It does. It absolutely does. So yeah, it was sad to hear that chat, because I mean that's like one of the main themes or thrusts of this whole movie is, that point where they're at, where they're literally, that's when you kind of, for 90% of people, you break away from the friends you had then. You drift apart. I mean, it happened to me.
You go your separate ways. Yeah, for a lot of my friends, you're done after, like, I guess, would that be junior school?
More or less. So I mean, it was primary school into secondary.
There's a point where,
that they're going there,
yeah, a lot of people drift away.
See, for me, the benefit of being a wrestling fan is that you fall out with the friends of that time, and then you just assume it's because of wrestling. So, like, I was in my mid-20s before I realised that Steve Austin's heel turn in 2001 wasn't the reason why I lost all of my childhood friends. It was socioeconomic factors and moving away and whatnot. So, there you go. Wrestling strikes again. They head on to the bridge, and there's an old choo-choo train coming. And they're like, we shouldn't go on here, Teddy. There's going to be a train. He's like, there's not going to be a train. Let's really slowly move across this very large bridge.
If I was... When I was watching this, I was like, why don't they just fucking run across this bridge? Like, they know time is of the essence here. But then you see Vern crawling across.
Fucking Vern, you're out of your element, Vern. What an old man name as well, Vern. Fucking hell.
He somehow loses his fucking comb. I can't remember why he brought the comb, but he loses his comb. Falls in the water, mate.
Very useless. I did like that when the choo-choo started coming, Gordo just went, Trey!
Accurate. Trey.
Trey! And I thought it'd be like another cool kid with like a kind of a curly hair, be like, yeah, what do you thought? It's me, Trey. What do you want, huh? Or what's the best way to carry drinks across this bridge? Trey!
Genuine question. Whenever you hear or see a train and you're a small child, is it accustomed to go, train, like that? Or is that not a thing? Is that just my family?
I think that's your family.
Alright. Whenever there was a train, we just go, train, like that. And
the Chaplin family, notorious for identifying the presence of locomotives in Nottingham. Like.
Microphone. Pointing at stuff.
Of course, now, if I had been, Stand By Me in Gordo's shoes, it just would have been like, and then I went and I told on them. I never saw Chris again. Vern got run over. Stand by me.
You'd still be on that side of the tracks.
I would have been like, lads, I literally told you this exact thing would happen. Like,
they have to jump off the edge of the tracks, don't they? Vern can't go fast enough. They have to shuffle off the edge.
Vern, by rights, you should be dead. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They have a cookout with the most juvenile boy thing I've ever heard. Why don't you cook your dick?
Small meal.
Gordo tells my favourite part of this entire movie, the proper great tale. It's like the best episode of Great British Bake Off ever.
I literally wrote down Great British Pie Eating.
So, Davy Hogan, who is known as Lardass, kids were so cruel those days. Everyone's mean to him. They makes a point saying that, he's not a bad kid, he's got a gland problem, he's like some sort of greedy monster. But everyone, including the adults, proper mean to him. So he eats loads of pies, but he has eaten an egg and castor oil. So he does a really big sick, and then everyone gets sick from this point on.
Yeah, it's Little Britain-esque, the sick scenes. I don't know if you remember the sick bits of Little Britain.
They literally just lifted that from this.
They're just spraying everywhere, like a hose.
And Matt, what is the writing process like for a show like Little Britain? Well, me and David, we sat down and we watched Stand By Me, a really great movie, and we saw that bit and we thought, yeah, we'll have that.
Yeah.
Easy.
Just sick everywhere, mate.
It's not stealing if someone from another country does it. So, fuck you, Rob Reiner. Ours now.
Vern has this little Amazon review of this story after it's over. I liked the ending. The barfing was really good. 4 stars, some funny bits.
3 out of 4 customers found this review helpful. Sam, what is the worst sick you ever did?
Worst sick?
The worst sick.
The worst sick. I once, when I was on a coach journey for a school trip, I felt very sick and I didn't want to cause a scene. And I had like a plastic bag that some sandwiches had come in. And so I threw up into that little plastic bag. And then I didn't have anywhere to put it.
Oh.
So I sealed it and I put it in my coat pocket.
Oh,
and
Sam, rookie mistake.
for literally the whole journey, I was just carrying around a pocket full of sick. I also threw up in DT once.
Wow.
Just all over the place.
That is literally one of the worst subjects to get sick in. There's so many little bits of paper and shit.
Yeah.
Glue and
Wood.
scissors. Wood, man. I mean, because I used to get panic attacks, like, literally anytime I did anything when I was a kid, like, from the ages of, like, I remembering until probably when I was, like, 16, 17. If I went out anywhere, like, if I, went to a job interview, or I went to town, or I went to visit family, or I went... Literally, if I did anything, I would get sick. I think I mentioned before, parents always giving me the plastic bag. So I've always been quite a cocky vomiter in that sense, in that, look,
I know what I'm doing.
I've literally been sick. I've vomited thousands of times in my life.
I've been sick more times than you've had hot dinners, mate.
Pretty much.
I've sicked up more hot dinners than you've had hot dinners.
Like, because I've gotten sick after cold dinners as well. Like,
yeah.
So, and sometimes no dinners at all. Like, so
Still
just kind of like clear fluid comes out. So I was always a very cocky vomiter, particularly the last, 7-8 years when I've not had panic attacks on the reg. Like, so I thought, sick, I got this.
Yeah.
I hadn't been sick in around 4 or 5 years until last year. Last year I had a really bad cold. I was driving back from my job, which I hated at the time, and I had really stuffy nose, so I decided, right, I'll just do the old up the nose, kind of get that stuff up, and my nose was so concrete solid. I sprayed loads in and kept going trying to force it through, which you're not meant to do. You're meant to just let it do its magic. So I kept going, and I'm driving at the time as well, and all of a sudden I would go, oh, and I realised this large thick curtain of gunge is starting to slowly subside into the back of my throat from my nose. And not only that, but all the excess spray that I put in as well. So all of a sudden I just go, and I realise I've swallowed probably, like a Quaker's Oats quick microwave amount of porridge, that quantity of phlegm and snot, and also around a shot glass of very, very horrible tasting chemicals. So as soon as I went home, I sat down for 2 minutes and I'm like, uh-oh, Joe, I need to go get sick. And I don't know if it's because I hadn't gotten sick in a long time, or because it was a particularly virile type of sick.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get the sick out of me. It was too thick. Like, you ever blend up a smoothie and it's and you have, oh man, this batter's too thick. You know what I'm saying? So I was retching as this very slow sludge is going, like a McDonald's milkshake when you just get it. And it's like. And you can't get it out. It was that level. So it was like that, except I was actively going trying to get it out of my body.
Yeah.
And it finally started kind of like modelling clay falling off the side of a table. And it finally gets through. And at the end of it, I was getting sick for 30 minutes. At the end of it, I was literally weak and shaking and clutching the toilet. And Joe had to help me back into bed. And I gave myself 2 black eyes. Because I was vomiting so much, I burst the blood vessels all around my eyes, all around my temple, near my nose.
The way you said that sounded as a punishment to yourself for being sick. You just punched yourself in the eyes. Just send us an email over to cinemaswirl@gmail.com. That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com if that story made you be sick, because some of the details there were properly gross. Thank you for that.
See, here you go. Once again, I try to get fucking sympathy, and instead I just get stonewalled.
You fucking
right
gross
here.
weirdo, mate.
Unbelievable. A complete and total barfarama. Sam, Mickey's a mouse, so what is Goofy? I was going to say an abomination, but...
Fucking mess, mate. I was going to Google what Goofy looks like, because I have it in my head, but I'm like, what is he?
He's a dog.
Is he a dog?
Yeah.
Is that established?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Goof Troop is him and Pete's a dog. His nephew's a dog.
He could be a weird fucking alien guy hanging out with a bunch of dogs.
And then there's people going, oh, but how complete? This is a fucking cartoon, you idiots. Like, come on, grow up.
But this is the kind of stuff we talk about before we've discovered girls, am I right?
Am I right?
What is Goofy?
What is the one food that you could eat for the rest of your life?
Pez, mate. Pez P Max.
Come on, legit. If you could eat one food for the rest of your life,
my head says pizza, like, straight away.
Because you could conceivably eat frozen pizzas for the rest of your life. I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't do very well.
But I know you went through a period of heavy consecutive frozen pizza. That was a big part of your student diet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was there ever a point when you were like, how many was the maximum amount of frozen pizzas you had in a week? What would that be? The maximum amount?
Well, 7.
So you did 7 days of frozen pizzas at one point.
I hope not.
It's possible, though.
It's possible that it could have slipped through the net.
Was there ever a point when you were like, fucking hell, frozen pizza again? I'm so sick of this. Or was it like,
no, I would
fucking frozen pizza.
I could never get sick of frozen pizza. It's amazing. It's the best.
Wow. See, I think I could never get sick of roast chicken, but I know if I ate just roast chicken,
roast chicken.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Sam,
for the rest of your life.
Well, I do a roast chicken that's stuffed with cannellini beans, a little bit of chorizo and tomato, and it's very good. Tell you what, next time you're around, I'll give you a go at that, huh? And see if you have frozen pizza for the rest of your life.
I think that speaks of the differences between me and you, Kevin, to be honest.
Have you ever roasted a chicken?
Yes. Spatchcocked it and everything, mate.
You just wanted to use that word?
Yeah, love
spatchcock.
Put some, what do you call the juice that it soaks in? The chicken. Just put some bloody chicken, just the liquids you put on it. Based? No, not based. What's the stuff?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When you let it marinade. A marinade. You put marinade on.
There you go. We got there in the end. It's okay.
Yeah.
So they hear coyotes, so they decide to take turns on guard. Teddy takes it way too seriously. Gordy tries to get asleep, has a crap dad dream, the worst time.
Oh, Jesus Christ, the funeral dream.
Oh!
Should have been you, Gordon.
I hate you.
Now
Fucking hell.
Dying distracted my son from football.
Now I'll never have a son who is a football also as my wife.
I wish you were dead.
I wish you were dead or a football.
Yeah.
I don't see you becoming a football anytime soon.
We see Vern with a gun, by the way, which is very funny.
Yeah, Vern with a gun is, he carries himself. Vern looks the most like a tiny man out of all the 4 boys.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he's got a tiny man name as well.
Like, honestly, Vern, even as he is there, if you put him in a carpet uniform, I could buy him as a manager. Like a grown-up, a manager, even. Yeah. I could buy that authority, because he's got that old 50s haircut, which signifies, that he's a straight shooter,
Yeah.
Chris talks about his bad rep, the whole business with him stealing milk money, and the real kind of sad thing about it is that he tried to give it back, and then a teacher stole it and blamed it on him.
He got scammed by old lady Simons.
Hard times, Daddy.
Yeah.
Real fucking hard times.
I'm a criminal. Wah!
Stealing from a child who's trying to return something stolen is literally as low as you can go. Gordy sees a deer, a doe, a female deer, doe. So he sees them, and it's meant to be like a beautiful moment of him connecting with nature and whatnot.
Yeah, and he doesn't tell him.
Yeah, why? Why not?
They probably call him a pussy for looking at a deer.
Probably make fun of the deer's mother or something like that, or talk about the deer's boobs. So they decide to head off into the woods. They know that they're near where the body was spotted.
Yeah.
The rest of the Cobra gang find out about the body and they set off. So we're going to have a showdown at the old swamp. They're walking through the muddy waters, and Vern goes to punch Teddy, and Teddy flinches, and he goes, 2 for flinching. Did you have any of those kind of horrible rules?
There was one about fucking Royal Mail vans. if you saw a Royal Mail van, you'd punch someone.
Oh, it's a British institution!
Yeah, it was a thing. I'm sure it was the thing.
We used to do this horrible thing. I think it originated in Malcolm in the Middle, but it was this thing that it swept the school so bad.
This thing.
The circular thing.
Sorry, that doesn't work on a podcast.
It does say it's like the AOK symbol. I've not seen much Malcolm in the Middle, so tell me, what does that mean in the show, Sam, when they do this?
If you see the AOK symbol below, it has to be below the waist.
Yeah.
And someone makes you look at it, they can punch you as hard as they want.
See, that seems okay. In my school, it was that, but if you look down, you got a Mickey slap.
What? Hold on, Kevin. Wait a minute. Hold on. What's a Mickey slap?
A Mickey slap is when someone backhands your cock and just goes whoosh, like that, like they're flicking.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and they would do that. And literally, you had at one point in my school, like 18, 19-year-old boys going around doing that to like 12-year-olds and then smacking them and smashing their testicles. Like.
Jesus Christ.
And then the rules got more complicated. I don't know if this is a Malcolm in the Middle, but it became that if you looked down and you saw it, but then you got your finger in the hole, then you got to Mickey slap them.
That was a thing, but without the Mickey slap.
Okay. And then the third rule was, if you looked down and you saw it, but then you put your finger, but then they clasped on your finger, you got 2 Mickey slaps.
Right.
Which then evolved into a sack attack, which was like an uppercut. So without the protective layer of the main member, because it's not nice to get hit in the penis.
No.
But the testicles are a lot softer, a lot more nerves. So you got none of the protection of the Mickey, and you got the straight up uppercutted in the nuts.
Yeah.
I do remember at one point I did it to someone and I felt so bad afterwards. I just felt like, the worst. We had an assembly where the principal was like, boys, you need to stop hitting each other
Fucking stop
the genitals. We had that in a church. Everyone's going to the church and be told to stop hitting each other in the fucking balls. 2004.
Who was the guy telling you this?
The principal!
The principal.
Stop hitting each other in the balls, please.
Did he then slowly, reveal that he'd been doing the...
Line them up, boys!
Just, high-fiving people in a crowd, just knocking all the... Yeah. Well.
Non-stop Mickey slaps. So yeah, 2 for flinching. I would take that over Mickey slaps any day of the week.
Yeah, Vern gets confused by the whole... It's cute.
It's not for you, Vern.
There's one bit that is almost Vicar of Dibley level physical comedy, which is Chris checking how deep it is, saying, oh, it's not even that deep, and then they all fall in the water. I laughed. I actually properly did a big old laugh at that.
That's a proper stupid kid thing,
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So they get covered in leeches in this lake.
Yeah.
I was watching this with Jo, and she's proper freaked out by leeches. I wonder what your feelings are on the little bloodsuckers.
I mean, I don't really understand how they work. I'm scared by the idea of them, but I've never really looked into how leeches work.
It's weird because you don't feel a leech when it's on you, because a leech, it doesn't bite you like that. It just kind of places itself on you and it makes a little entryway, and it gives you an anticoagulant, so your blood becomes runny and flows more, so they can suck up all your blood. Right. But they actually give you a mild anesthetic, so they numb wherever it is that they bite. So you don't actually feel it. A leech can be on you for hours and you wouldn't feel it. You will feel it though when you pull them off though and their hooks come out. It's sore. And then also because you've been given the anticoagulant, you'll bleed a lot, so it's actually quite dangerous. There are leeches in the United Kingdom, in these Fair Isles.
Fuck off, mate.
Yeah, but the only blood-sucking leeches are in Kent, West Kent. So,
I've been there. I've met a few, mate.
Speaking of Kent, we had a boy in our school. Speaking of schoolyard japes, his name was Ben.
Yeah,
and he was from Kent.
Okay,
so the children decided to say that he was bent.
There you go.
So, kids those days, though, were very cruel, I thought. Very, very cruel.
I've told you about Toby Larone, right?
Toby Larone, yeah.
And no one thought to call him Toby Larone.
Man, kids were so fucking, unimaginative.
Everyone just called him Larone.
Larone.
Yeah, wonderful.
He gets a leech on his jingling.
I thought, I wrote down Gordy's got a dick leech. Turns out it was a balls leech.
Oh, that's worse. Whoa.
Which I think, as we've established with the whole Mickey slap situation, is worse.
Yeah, softer, less connective, protective tissue. Yeah, man.
That leech went full on sack attack.
If we didn't see the flash forward of him having kids, I would have been greatly concerned. It's the end of the road road for you. So the Cobras are on their way, playing chicken. Biff would love these guys, running stuff off the road. Biff could have done that, not ended up in some poo. Yeah. And Chris and Vern want to go back, and Teddy's being a dick, saying, no, we gotta go. They get in a big fight. And then Gordo's revealed he's kind of obsessed at this point about seeing the body, so he's like, we have to go.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going back. Me and my leeched balls are seeing that dead body, whether you like it or not. I'm going.
Ow! Fucking sassy kid, huh? They find the body, and this is one of my favourite scenes because it's such a romp up to this point.
Yeah.
When they find that body, it's like they very much paint that whole these boys get changed by this. It's not a fun thing. And it's something that probably, I don't know if you were a kid, everyone's always like, oh, there's a dead body, let's go see a dead body, or I heard this guy saw a dead body. Like, there is, I think between young boys, there's a certain fascination about dead bodies.
Yeah, definitely.
The reality is, I think it's very good that most of us have not seen dead bodies, particularly like these ones, the one they see here, out in the woods, all rotten away, and it's not like, whoa, look at this guy, it's just like, everyone's quiet, poke him with a stick, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
It's deeply traumatizing, yeah. When they found this dead body, when we talked about doing this film, you said, don't look up anything about it.
Yep.
You'll spoil it, which is par for the course for Cinema Swirl. Like, if I don't know anything about it, I don't look into it. But you were very specific about, don't look on Wikipedia, the first line will spoil everything. I was like, okay. The whole time when they were looking for this dead body, and there's a line at the start where it's like, I remember the first time I saw a dead body, blah, blah, blah. I thought that this dead kid was going to be like a red herring or a MacGuffin.
Oh, right.
And that one of the kids would die. Or someone else would die.
When I was watching with Joe, she was also convinced that there was going to be, like, a kid's going to die.
They're not going to find the dead body. One of them is going to die, and that's going to be the dead body. I was so sure of it. I was like, I've fucking got this. I know what's happening here.
I mean, I know that it's not like a twist that they find the dead body, but it's just that when you know that the movie is about them all going to find a dead body, and it's quite a short movie, I kind of feel like you not knowing that. Because when I first saw the movie, it was 4 boys go on an adventure that changes them forever. And now if you look at the movie online, it's like, these guys find a dead body and get traumatized forever. It's like, that's literally the whole journey of the movie. Don't fucking spoil it in your synopsis, lads.
Yeah.
Gordo breaks down here about his dad, talking about how he hates him, he should have died instead. Oh, it's very that kid, seriously, fucking hell. Serious chops on him. That's amazing.
Very good, yeah.
What he actually did, Rob Reiner, I read an interview with him, he said that because kids are they find it difficult to have a range when they're that young, to be someone else and not be themselves. So he, cast kids specifically that he felt were like the characters so they could just be themselves. So, for instance, the guy who plays Teddy, he cast him because he had some pretty fucked up, shit happen to him when he was a young boy.
Yeah.
Likewise,
River Phoenix is a bit of a bad boy.
He had a bit of a strange upbringing. So, man, some serious fucking emotion on display from that kid there. It's incredible stuff. Yeah. The Cobras arrive.
The whole thing about this that I find really funny is that they all want dibs on the dead body. They want to, take it.
Yeah, they want to be heroes.
But then you've got to cart around a dead body and bring it home and be like, oh, we found this dead body.
Generally speaking, it makes more sense for the Cobras to find the body because
they've got a car.
Come on, I think they all, because it's like a big manhunt and it's all on the radio, I think it's just kind of, we'll become famous. I mean, kids those days are just obsessed with fame and celebrity, Sam. It's not like nowadays.
No.
So, kids those days, man, I'm telling you, unbelievable.
Although nowadays, you'd probably just get an Uber to where the dead body was, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd Google Map it.
And then you'd go
catch some Pokemon along the way.
Yeah, and you go Pick My Body app, and then they pick up for you and take it back.
Yeah, easy.
Gordo's got a piece. Suck my fat one, you cheap dime store hoodlum.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Fucking Duke Nukem over here. Suck my fat one, you cheap dime store hoodlum.
Yeah, Jack Bauer's just got a knife like a fucking idiot.
He literally brought a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. He apparently scared the children on set. They found him very intimidating. He acted very, cold and like his character around them to make the children fear him, to get that across in the scenes.
Rightly so. Yeah,
he's
scary man.
Chilling man. Yeah, very chilling Kiefer. So, he runs off, says that he'll get him back for this. They decide an anonymous phone call is the best way. The body is found. And then the movie kind of wraps up. They head back home, and he basically talks about, how, they get into middle school, Vern and Teddy, they kind of stop hanging out with them. They have kind of sad futures. Teddy goes to jail. He's just kind of bumming around town. Vern, gets married straight out of high school, has kids, works a regular blue-collar job.
Yeah. But he finds a penny on the street, so he's alright. Yeah.
Everything's okay, Chris becomes a lawyer, though, and that's, that's so fucking, oh, man. That's great to see him achieve that, and pull himself up by his bootstraps. It's David Cameron's big society in action right there. You know? Boys helping other boys.
And get stabbed.
Breaking up a fight.
Yeah, being a good guy.
That's what gets you. Always be a bad guy if you can, like.
And then we cut to Stephen King on his old-timey computer.
That must have wrecked the eyes. The black screen with the fucking bright green writing. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
There's no flux for that.
And his kids are like, oh, my dad's always like this when he's writing. He's like, oh, now I'm the weird dad. Ugh.
And he writes his last little bit and he says, he never had his friends as good as he had from the ones when he was 12 years old. But then again, who does?
Yeah.
My friends when I was 12 were pretty shit. Like, I made some cracking friends specifically after the age of 12, you know. So, fuck you, Stephen King, you big loner. He has said, Stephen King, this is the only book that he felt was, at the time, was done any justice by any film ever. Like, he let stuff be, you know, co-opted all the time, but he said this is the first time he felt they actually got it across well. And he actually, when it was screened to him, he had had to go and have a little 10 minutes to himself, because it was autobiographical, a lot of it. Some of it was changed, obviously, from the perspective of the director, but
do you think his favourite bits were when all the other kids are like, oh, Gordon, you're so good at writing, you're going to be a great writer, you're going to be a successful writer, you're so good at writing.
You should write the biggest book in the world. Oh, okay. Sam, stand by me and tell me what you thought of this movie.
It was really good. It was really heartwarming and nice. Yeah, it was a proper coming-of-age movie.
Cynically, I thought that this was like going to be one of those ones which is like, yeah, it's all well and good for the 80s for this to be kind of a throwback tale, but surely in these teenage 2000s that this movie has no place and will just be kind of a overly fucking aggressive male fantasy about we're finding dead bodies and standing up to bullies with guns. I fucking love this. It's beautifully acted. I think the 4 kids and the director did such a great job of God, kids fucking suck so often when they're acting. Yeah. And man, powerhouse this stuff. Got all them feels at the end.
Yeah, and I think the relationship between the kids just comes across as way more of like a complex emotional thing than it would in any other movie with any other kids acting it.
I mean, you've got 4 kids who are all playing off each other, and it's very genuine. You feel like these kids are this weird ragtag group, because I mean, not everyone can relate to this, but I'm pretty sure most people can relate to the group of friends and the dynamic, and I thought they got that across really, really well, even if it is from 70 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, and the Gordy and Chris thing, where it's that intense friendship, where it's almost romantic, but it's not romantic. You know what I mean?
Those two at the end. What I mean? Yeah, those two at the end. I thought that was beautiful. Totally, those boys were in love. Those boys were in love, and they didn't know it because it was 1959. They're too busy smoking cigarettes, gambling, and running down the French.
Yeah.
Sam, if you were to put a bow on it, give this thing a little bit of a star wipe rating, how many do you think you would give it?
You know what? I'm going to go with 4 star wipes.
You heard it here first.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cinema Swirl. This episode was produced by Kevin, and the music and editing was by me, Sam. As always, you can follow us on Twitter over at CinemaSwirl, or join us on Facebook at facebook.com/CinemaSwirl. If you have any questions, queries, comments or stories, send them on over to cinemaswirl@gmail.com. That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to us over on iTunes or whichever podcast thing you use. And if you like the show, leave a review. Anyway, we'll see you next time on Cinema Swirl.